I'm making this video about headlights in a 2003 Nissan Maxima. Only reason is I was trying to find information about this and wasn't finding any good stuff and conflicting information and no good how-to videos, so I guess I thought I'd make my own. So I have here a 2003 Nissan Maxima, which is going to look like earlier versions, but something different here is that it has two headlight bulbs, and I've got one out. So you can see we have two different lenses there, and there are the two bulbs. And here's the one on. So this, of course, is your standard bulb, and this is your high beam. And here's the important thing here. The high beam is a 9005 bulb, and these work just fine. The problem is that my normal beams, my low beams, I'm missing one over there. And I don't know if you can tell, this is a very white, bright light. So if you want to know how to replace the headlights, you have to know what bulb that is. And you'll find some conflicting information. But the two best things I found are either an H1 bulb or a D2R. So a D2R or even a D2S. Now the D2R is an HID high intensity discharge bulb. To know if your 2003 Nissan Maxima has one, you can call up your Nissan dealership and give them the last numbers of your VIN number. They can tell you if it is the Xenon D2R or if it's an H1 non-Xenon. Now the problem here is if it's the Xenon D2R bulb, Nissan's going to tell you that just one bulb is going to cost over $200. So don't go to them for that. You can buy all sorts of places bulbs that should do the trick and aren't going to cost that much money. So I got a pair of these right here from Amazon for a lot less than that. And we'll take a look and see if we can replace these here on the car and save literally hundreds of dollars, but we've got to get that other headlight working. And what I'm going to do first here is I'm going to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. I don't often do this, but if you read anything about it, some things will even say go to your dealership to have them replace a Xenon bulb. But they use a high voltage, if I can get this on here, they use a high voltage, and so most things recommend disconnecting your battery. So I'm disconnecting the negative terminal here, and that's going to make sure there's no electricity flowing through here on these bulbs or anywhere in this system. But just as a precaution, I've got a battery corrosion brush, because I noticed a little bit of corrosion in my terminals, and these are things that any person that owns a car should have. You've got this sort of male part here and a female part here, and so there's a little bit of corrosion here, not much, but I just want to clean it off. You take this wire brush and you can scrub it around in there like that and get all the corrosion out of there, all that green stuff. And then this part you can put over the terminal and just kind of run it around like this and clean that. And so you want your terminals to be nice and clean. There are even battery corrosion cleaners, but you can do the same thing with baking soda and water. But this is not bad, but just want to clean off a little bit. So anytime you are taking off a battery terminal and you see some corrosion, you might as well get your corrosion brush and clean it out. And what we're looking for is right there. A lot of instructions say you have to remove the whole headlight assembly, and we may have to do that, but this is what we're trying to get to. So this big cap right here is going to cover up the bulb. And you need to take this and rotate it counterclockwise to be able to access the bulb. So let's see here. There we go. I want to rotate it counterclockwise. This one's giving me a little bit of trouble, so I may have to get a screwdriver there and try and pry it off. And you can see there's not a lot of room to work right here, but I'm going to try and pry off this big cap right here. Again, this is where the low beam bulb is going to be behind, and you just have to rotate that off and pull it off to get to it. Now, I don't know why your Maxima owner's manual won't tell you about this. They just want you to go to your Nissan dealership, I guess. But this is how you get to the lights. And there is a smaller one down there for the down here for the high beam. But this is the big one we're concerned with right here. Okay, I was able to pull that off, even though it was really tight in there. So there it is. And you see there's even a place there where it says top. And there's the direction open and lock right there. So open, of course, is counterclockwise. And was able to come out. If we look down in there, there we go. There's the place where the bulb is. And you can see there's that high electricity warning sticker on there. So the fact that we've unhooked the negative terminal of the battery should help out there, so there shouldn't be any worry at all. We've got to pull this part out here. So again, I'm going to see if I can do that without removing the whole assembly. Okay, I wasn't able to quite reach in there and unhook where the bulb goes in, even though I did the cover off. I did get that off. So I'm just getting a good old 10mm socket, and we're going to remove these bolts here. Now, it's actually a fairly easy thing to remove the whole headlight assembly. It's no big deal at all for lots of cars, and even on the Maxima. So you just need a 10mm socket, and we'll take out this bolt right here, and this one right here. So you can see definitely that the tabs go up here, and these bolts are what are holding it on to the frame of the car. It's not even really that tight. So easy enough thing to remove. So we got these two bolts taken out, and see how you can kind of wiggle it back and forth. You kind of want to pop it out and just remove it from the whole area here, which should be fairly easy. It'll take a little bit of force. Now I do have this little tool which is for kind of prying off panels and stuff, and if need be, you can put it in here and kind of pry out the light from this side. There'll be some clips and things that it kind of plugs into to keep it nice and secure, and then these bolts on top just hold it in place. But a little bit of force, you can kind of pop it out of the clips where it pops into. Looks like it's already out quite a bit. I'm just going to give it a little more of a tug. See how it just kind of comes out. And there's the whole thing sort of loose. And there we go. You can see it kind of coming out there. And right here. There's our attachment for our bulb right there. While I've got this here, I'm just going to clean out some junk that has been accumulated over years. This is a very used car. I just got it, so I might be have it in for some surprises. But this is what I want to get out here. So I'm just going to take this and try and twist it, again kind of counterclockwise, twist and pull out. So you can see that the cables kind of come in here and they're sealed in because this cap covers it all up. So it's everything's kind of right inside here. And so I'm just trying to twist it enough to sort of wiggle it out here. It's really kind of tight, but I'm just going to just work on it. Again, twisting it counterclockwise and wiggling. And I may have to sort of pull the assembly out a bit more. So the more room you can have to work here, you know, the easier it'll be. Okay, I wiggled it enough, and then it popped out. So there's the connection, and I can see definitely the Nissan technician was correct. This is a D2R bulb. I can tell by that connection right there. So again, this is going to be the one that Nissan says, depending upon which dealership you talk to, is going to be $200 or maybe more. So you can see these little retaining clips here, kind of spring-loaded retaining clips, and you have just pop those out from where those are. Looks like this whole thing's going to kind of pop out here. So let's set this aside and don't lose it, because that's going to hold the bulb there firmly, and then just gradually pull that out. And there it is. That is a Xenon D2R or D2S high intensity discharge bulb. That's the little bugger right there. Alright, so here are these. I'm not sure if the brand really is important. There are all sorts of brands, but they had a decent enough rating on them on Amazon. The cool thing about this is it actually came with gloves. And these are awesome because even with normal halogen bulbs, you don't want to touch the bulbs with your bare hands. The oils on your hands will weaken the glass of the bulb and make them fail prematurely. but even more so with xenon bulbs. But this pair, actually came with a nice little set of gloves here. So that is pretty neat. Now you can put the bulb in without using gloves and being very careful, but I found it is easy to accidentally touch a bulb. And with these xenons, I don't want to take any chance here. So again, it's pretty neat that it comes with its own set of gloves. And you just put these lovely things on. But the main thing is you want to make sure that your fingers don't touch the bulb. Now also you want to really replace these in pairs, and so it's nice to buy them in pairs like this. But anytime you replace headlight bulbs, it's a good thing to do that in pairs. But the main thing, especially with the HID, the color temperature is going to be very important. So you want to make sure you're getting ones that match in color temperature. So doing it as both of them at the same time is a good way to go. And they even have this nice little protective case on there. We'll just kind of take off because, again, fragile stuff here, fragile and expensive, but much more expensive going to the Nissan dealership. Gotta say, these gloves are really nice. I probably would have put some on anyway, but just in all my handling around here, it would be almost impossible to not accidentally touch this. But you want to see there's this little notch at the very top here. You're going to face that upward because there's a notch right here where it fits in, and it's got to go right in there and be able to seat all the way. So we're just going to pull this connector out of the way, make sure that notch is at the top, and seat that in there. Okay, that's good. That's where it goes in. Now we take this retaining clip and put it back. It's kind of a bummer it doesn't hold in itself, it kind of pops out, but again, this is really very important. And hopefully you can see here, it kind of goes in here like that. There's a little bit on the other side where it goes in. And it looks like we need to put it on the top there. So we need to put it over this little notch on the very top. And a lot of headlights actually have a little retaining clip like this, so this is not that unusual. Sometimes they're designed to stay in. This one kind of comes out. Okay, put it in there and in there. Alright, so now the bulb is held in place by the retaining clip, and then we take the connector here and just push it on. So we're going to just push it on there and then twist it back in place. There's a little notch here at the top here in this red plastic, and that's going to go under this metal piece here to hold it in. So that's kind of your goal, is to push it in there like that and twist it to where it goes up in there. So I'm going to have to work with this bit. Okay, I've twisted it to the side and it kind of goes in a bit, and now I'm going to try and twist it to sort of get it to lock back in place. And there it is, headlight finally on. So it's always good to test it before you put everything back. And I will say it's really tough getting that socket to fit on the light when it's there where it's supposed to be in the headlight lens. But maybe you can see a color temperature, and this is why it's good to change both bulbs at the same time. And there's the second one in, matching that really cold blue color. So a little harder of a job than I thought, but of course doable. The main difficulty is just to get this this plug back on there and fit it in. There are these two little bits that poke out there. They have to fit in these notches, and then you have to rotate a bit counterclockwise. And you really have to press it on deep and hard and then give it the rotation for it to fit right in place. If it's not quite there, it's not going to light up. And once you have the bulb in and have that retaining clip on it, it's actually tough to get this piece here pushed in far enough to where those little nubs will engage in the notches. But I got it. You just gotta keep working with it and keep working with it and test it and make sure it's all there before you put it back. So hopefully I won't have to do that again anytime soon. But savings of hundreds of dollars, you can just replace your own Xenon HID headlights, and you're ready to go.